Hi there, I'm Dr. Ross Riggs with Security Consulting Investigations. We want to spend just a few minutes of your time talking to you about the holiday season that is rapidly coming upon us and the ways that you can prevent crime from impacting you, from impacting the people that you love, and from making a negative event out of this Christmas season instead of the positive one that you're hoping that it's going to be. There are several ways in which we can do that. We're going to use eventually the acronym CALL, and as we go through CALL, you'll begin to understand that right at the outset, everything that we are talking about here this evening has to do with what you can do to keep yourself safe, to keep your family safe, and to keep your Christmas holidays safe. One of the biggest things that happens this time of year, there's a real swift move toward more and more identity theft. We know that that's a problem throughout the year, but at this time of year, when people are extremely busy and things are very busy at all the local stores, there's a lot of shopping that goes on online, you're going to find that identity theft is on the rise. More and more ways to find your identity, to take it from you, whether it's from credit card information, whether it is from a scam, someone calling you online wanting to do some type of repair to your computer, and it requires that you let them into your computer. Wow, we encourage you not to do that unless you have called them and you know who they are and it's a reputable company that you have worked with before. Let no one behind your firewall, because that firewall is there to protect you. And it's the minute you let somebody else behind there that you don't know, all of that information could be gone, and it's happening every single day. So we want you to be very careful regarding identity theft when you are shopping, and if there is any particular time when your credit card leaves your hand, keep your eyes on that card. Don't give a clerk who is less than honest the opportunity to use their phone and snap a picture of it. Don't give anyone an opportunity to take that card, make a rubbing of the number, whatever it is, to write down your number. If that card is outside your hand, you keep your eyes on that card at all times. If a clerk doesn't bother to take a look at the back to see if it's signed, or they don't take and check your personal identity against the identity on that card, ask them to do so. Remind them that that's part of their job and that you want them to check and make sure that you are who you say you are. Perhaps it will remind them they'll check further someone else down the line and they'll find someone who has a card that doesn't belong to them. One of the other big things that happens this time of year when it's so incredibly busy is car theft. You can look at the parking lots around the shopping malls or in the restaurants and see the vast number of cars that are there and how incredibly busy people are. Often they forget to lock the car. They forget that they've got packages in that car. My goodness, all of the piling up of wrapped Christmas packages or unwrapped. If you've got a $5,000 video system you've just set in the backseat of your car and you go into one of the local restaurants to get some supper, that's just asking them to step into your car, to either take your car completely or just simply take that stereo system, that electronics, those gifts right out of that car, and there you go. You're holding just the bag come Christmas morning. We don't want that to happen to you. We want you to be able to be secure. When you're parking your car, I want to take a look at where the lights are in the parking lot. You know, it's getting darker a lot earlier now, especially here in the northern part of the United States. And as the days are shorter and the nights are longer, why, you want to be parking your car right where there are lights that can be seen so that your car is less likely to be stolen. You may be getting out of your car at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you're not thinking at all about how dark it'll be in a couple of hours when you come out. Well, you can bet that the criminals are thinking about that, and they're looking for cars in remote areas of parking lots, away from lights, away from people traffic. So we want to make sure that when you're parking your car, spend a little extra time, wait a little longer for that parking place up near the traffic flow, up near where people are walking, and up where there are lights that can help prevent that car theft. And the break-ins. The car break-ins are happening all the time. My goodness, at your home, if you have to park your car outside, let's not be leaving purses in the car. Let's not leave anything of value in the car. Don't leave anything in there that you wouldn't want someone else to take in the middle of the night. Especially if your purse is in there. There we go, right back to identity theft again. You've lost your cards, you've lost your ID. Everything starts from scratch, and wow, you've got a hassle on your hands at the busiest time of year. You don't need that. You want to avoid that completely. So avoid car break-ins. You know, as you get closer to your car, you're walking to your car at night, make sure you're walking with someone. Don't walk alone if you can help it. There's almost always somebody coming out the same time you are. Team up with them and walk along the way to your car. It doesn't take but just a couple of minutes to bring up a conversation, start a conversation with someone, and you can help each other out by getting to the car, getting there safely. And before you get to the car, hit that button, turn the interior lights on, get the car unlocked, and you can have a good look inside, make sure there's nobody in there waiting for you that shouldn't be. And we want to make sure that you stay safe, even should somebody try to take not just your car, not just your packages, but they try to take you as well. Yet another thing that is always growing at this time of year, that's home invasions and burglaries. We think of home invasions more along the line when we know the criminal knows that there's somebody right there inside. They're awake perhaps, maybe just gone to bed, and the criminal doesn't care. He breaks into the house in a forceful manner, quickly, rapidly comes in and does whatever kind of violence these people might think to do, but also at the same time stealing anything and everything, presents that you've got out ready for Christmas morning. They're going to take those kind of things. The burglaries that happen when you're not home, you know, they know when you're out shopping. They know when, if you are a person that attends church, they know when your church hours are and when the choir cantatas are, the Christmas parties. They know. They're watching to see when it is you're away from home, and they're going to do the burglaries. But you know what? It's great to have those presents out under the tree for a week or so ahead of time and look at those presents. It makes for a pretty scene. But you know, it's a prettier scene on Christmas morning if those presents are still there. So I would recommend to you, don't put those Christmas presents out. Wait until Christmas Eve or Christmas morning to get those presents. Lock those things away. Tuck them back in a cabinet or a closet somewhere where the burglar is not going to see it, not going to ransack your Christmas tree right off the floor, right there, while you come back into a house and there's nothing there but a whole lot of empty. So we want you to be careful of that. Be ready in case someone does try to break into your home. One of the things we want you to do is to double check your locks. Let's get around on. It's been a unseasonably warm fall here in Northeast Ohio and in parts around here that sometimes we've even had recently in November our windows open, catching a really nice breeze coming through. We'll go back and double check. Make sure that all those first floor windows especially have the locks turned on them so that they are locked. And if you've got windows that don't sit very securely, make sure, if you need to, put a dowel rod in those windows. Criminals usually enjoy opportunity types of crime. They are also most of the time very lazy, and if they can have an opportunity, they can get in, get out without a whole lot of fuss. You know what? They're going to do it. And if you've got an alarm system, by all means, be setting that alarm. Don't go off leaving the alarm turned off while you're away. You want to make sure that that alarm is on at all times. And as we think about alarms and we think about other things that you can do for common sense, one of the things has got to be the lights outside your house. Make sure there's a Bible verse that talks about how evil hates the light and they stay in the darkness. Well, it's true. As criminals are traveling about, they want to go to the houses that don't have the exterior lights on. They want to be able to creep about in darkness. I would challenge you to go out and take a look at your house sometime. Pretend that you're a burglar or a prowler and you want to get into your house, or you want to be able to get up to those windows and see what's going on inside. Take a good hard look at the way you've got your lighting outside. Maybe you don't even have lighting outside, and this is a call, get some lighting out there. Light it up so that there's nowhere that the criminal can go to either be looking in your windows or breaking into your house, that they can't be seen from the street. Motion sensor lights are great because not only do they spook the person who's just now stepped into that light area, which they weren't expecting to be there, but you'll also find that those lights coming on alert you as the homeowner that there's something going on, there's something moved past that sensor outside, and you'll want to be taking a look at that and do that cautiously. Do it if you're not armed. Allow the local police to be doing it. Give them a call. That's what they're there for. They're ready to come and check. They're not going to be concerned at all if it's a false alarm. They want to be there in case it's not a false alarm. So take a look at those kind of things. We got to know that you have checked your lights and that you have checked your locks. And we want to talk about situational awareness. Now, as you've been in the malls lately, or if you've been out shopping, just about in any particular public place, you look around and you see people walking around like zombies. They've got their head in their iPhone and on their cell phone, and they're looking, and they've got maybe earphones in, and they're paying no attention to anything going on around them. An elephant could walk by. They just kind of step out of the way and keep on, texting, because that's where their head is at. They're not at all being aware of the situation of what's going on around them. Don't be one of those people. Be one who is always looking, always aware of what's going on around you. We've found that criminals are looking for people who are better targets because they are not aware of what's going on. You can hit them and be gone, and they're not even going to be able to tell you what the offender looked like. But someone who is situationally aware, who's aware of what's going on around them, they're seeing the people that look out of place. They step into a restaurant and they look around and they see where the exits are. They see if there's anybody that looks out of place. They're aware of things that when maybe there's a domestic argument going on between people in a booth, they sense that, they can see it, they see where things might escalate. They're just aware. They spend time before they go into a bank, they look in the windows to see, is there anything going on inside this bank before I walk in there that I'm going to be walking into the middle of? They're just aware. They know what's going on around them. They watch for those cars that come up near them. They keep an eye on vehicle descriptions when they're sitting at a traffic light or somebody comes around and cuts them off. They're paying attention to those kind of things. They're not paranoid about life. They're not worried about the next attack that's going to happen, but they are aware of what's going on around them, so that when something does happen, if it ever does, they know enough and they can see enough in advance to be able to get out of the way, to get out of harm's way, to get to where it's safe, protect themselves, protect their loved ones. If they are attacked, they're aware that they have options to escape. They have options on how to respond to the attacker in order to be able to get free. One thing's for certain, you fight with everything you've got, as long as you've got, and just continue to fight. Never give up, and never ever give in to these guys. Anybody that wants to take anything from you, whether it's your purse, your package, whether it's your life, just get out of their way and count the cost always, and be vigilant. We encourage you to do that. So what does it all come down to? It all comes down to common sense. If you take a look at everything that I've said to you so far, it all has to do with living in a way that you're putting into use common sense. So let's think about that. You've got your common sense. You've got your being aware all the time. You've got to keep an eye out on your locks and check your lights. That's CALL. That's very simple, all right? Common sense. Be alert to what's going on around you. Be aware, and make sure that your lights on the outside are great. Make sure your locks are solid on the inside. Be prepared for what might happen to you, so that perhaps the best will be nothing ever happens to you. That's what we want to hear. We want to know that if something happened, you were safe all the way through it. Your family was safe. Everything that is near and dear to you come Christmas Day is intact, and you're able to enjoy your holiday and go on into the new year in peace with a grateful heart, looking out toward what the Lord might have for you in the coming year. I'm Ross Riggs. Thanks for sharing this little bit of time with me. Have a great Merry Christmas. May God bless you, bless your family. May you have a great new year. From all of us at SCI.